Welcome, Sue. It is absolutely great to see you.
Hello.
Now, everyone, this is Sue McSweeney. Sue is a nurse practitioner based in Hawaii in the US, and she is an amazing lady. And she's here today to talk with us about colour puncture. So, now Sue's got lots and lots of skills. How long have you been working as a nurse practitioner, Sue?
25 years.
Yeah. So, and based in Hawaii and on the mainland, yes?
Massachusetts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Massachusetts, that's right. So you've got a big background professionally in the medical field, but also a really avid interest in alternative therapies and natural ways of healing, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't even know how to introduce you really, but just thinking about colour therapy, or do you call it colour puncture? What's the correct
Color
term?
puncture,
Colour puncture.
esoteric medicine, which is like a combo of energetic and esoteric
Yeah,
combination.
yeah, okay. So you've been doing that a while now, yeah?
I'm actually certified a couple of years ago, but I haven't not been practicing yet. I got caught up in the whole COVID, situation. So I'm just having to refresh myself and read through, and it's actually so complex that you know it's good that I'm doing a whole refresher
Yeah,
with a book that I just bought.
yeah, right. Now you've got some really interesting equipment. Do you want to just talk to us about what got you into colour therapy? What piqued your
Oh,
interest in?
sure. So one of my spiritual teachers told me about it years ago, and every once in a while she would bring it up, and she thought that she could see me working with color and light.
Yeah,
Um, So I actually had some treatments in Hawaii. And then when I was ready to get certified, I joined a class. And it's funny because it is so big and complex. It's a whole different language. The second time that we were in class, like for a 4-day workshop, I thought to myself, I'm not going to continue this. This is over my head. Like it's too much memorization. There's too many moving parts. My mind couldn't like sort of wrap its head around it. So I told the teacher that I said, I don't understand this. This is over my head. And then later that afternoon, when we were actually doing treatments on each other, I was like, I had such an amazing treatment. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go forth with this, So it's a pretty overwhelming. There's so much to it actually.
yeah,
So I haven't even really like begun to, you know, work with it that much. So, and I have a basic understanding of how it works. It's like acupuncture points, and but it's more than that. They have different zones that hit your meridian. So instead of a needle, it's uh, it's a light. So I
ah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah. Can see
Um,
that really well.
you
Yeah,
can see that, yeah. So there's different. These are all different colors, and they're used for different things. The colors. So it actually hits your meridian, and then the light and the color will actually hit the point and give information to the cells. So this is blue. Here's like a yellow one.
oh wow.
So yes, the colors do different things for different reasons.
Mm.
And like here's a rose, and that's
Oh,
like a whole different. There's gray rods that really move things. Um, so there's a lot of different like assessment tools they use. This was created by a naturopath in Germany named Peter Mendel. I think he's in his early 80s, and he has the Mendel Institute in Germany, and his sons I think have worked there as well. I haven't been yet. I tried to go a couple of years ago, but they were having flooding, so I never made it. But
yeah.
um, he has been doing this for over 30 years. So it
Wow.
taps into there's different. Okay, so there's different diagnostic tools they use, um, including um, what is it called? Like Curlian light. They can
Yeah.
see blockages in your energetic system through fingertips. They use the iris,
Yeah.
the tongue, the face, the
Oh, really?
um, yeah. So there's different diagnostic tools and things they use, but then there's all kinds of treatments. Like so for the color, they have the light color. They have I forget what it's called right now, but there's a little machine and it taps into different brain waves.
Yeah.
And you can so you could put it on a modality like of a dream state, for instance, and then it hits your points. And then when you go into dream time, it could actually bring up things for you at your own, pace. So you're able to tap into trauma, for instance.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's pretty complex. It's so they have that. They have crystal therapy. I have one. So these are placed in certain points
Yeah.
where they're instructed and how to. So they also work in different.
Oh,
They
that's
have really pretty crystals. Yeah, and then
wow.
it has the whole holographic thing.
Oh,
Can
that
you see
looks
it? Okay, or
yeah, it looks beautiful. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And they have oil. He's invented an oil. So you could put like an oil, for instance, on say your wrist area and then use like the orange.
Yeah.
And that's like the joy zone, for instance, right? So then you rub here and then the color will get in through the oil for transport.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
that elevates the joy in your system or in your body or your life.
Right. So right. And it goes into the different parts of your brain. And it also taps into, prenatal, being in the womb, past lives. They have the component of astrology in there. It's a very
Holy crap.
complex system. Yeah. Yeah. So to really explain it thoroughly, um, you'd probably need someone a little more schooled on it than but that's sort of, a basic
That sounds
rundown
amazing.
of it. Hmm.
Oh, wow. I love the sound of that. That sounds like a whole life kind of journey, really.
Hmm.
Hmm. So do you think you will go to Germany and check out
I would
the
love to go to Germany. I will definitely go to Germany to have treatments done. And yeah, I would love to go see the institute and all that. And I am going to open in my own practice, and so I'm in the beginning stages of that, where I'm going to be doing Western medicine and as well as Eastern. So I will be offering color puncture and other things that
oh, that sounds amazing.
alternative Reiki energy work.
Yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely needed, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh. So when you have a treatment, what sort of happens?
So it's different, obviously different for um, all individuals, just like acupuncture. It just could
Yeah.
open up a block, and all of a sudden, your heart could open, or um, it could be used for trauma where you don't have memories, and then you pop into certain parts of the brain, and then it will bring up some, the memory will come up. So you'll actually different memories of childhood memories or whatever. Um, and then so you have that, and then you actually have the treatment to calm the endocrine system, and with the different colors, and um, they can bring the treatments home for the brainwave therapy, to do that on their
Really?
own. So there's self care things they can actually do with it at home as well,
Mm.
until
So
waiting for their next.
that's amazing, actually. So it's really an entire system, right? So you go and you have
Really
a
is.
session, whatever it is dealt with, and then there's the possibility of so they create a recording for you to listen to, or is it
It's actually
treatment?
the brain. It's brainwave therapy. It's a little. I wish I could remember the name of the box, but it's let me see if I have it written here anywhere. I don't know, but it's brainwave therapy. So say you have the little machine and then there's a band that goes around your wrist or your ankles, or and then it stimulates certain points to hit different parts of your
Ah, right. So
brain.
it's frequency that's being
Mm-hmm.
sent into the body,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
basically. Oh, that is so cool.
So
So,
interesting.
oh my God, that's way more than I actually thought it was, gotta be honest. I was thinking it was just about, sending colour into the different acupressure points, and that was it. That's kind of what I
No, and
thought.
they have basic treatments for basic things like like a respiratory problem or whatever, but they also have extremely complex modality that they'll do certain treatments for um, deeper and heavier things.
Yeah, wow. Wow. So how complicated is the equipment that you need to have as a practitioner, like for you? Um, the stuff that the wand that you showed us with the different, crystals and the colours and things, is that enough to get going, or does it have to be complex with all these, um
Yeah, this is a basic set. So the Perlux system is enough to get going with it, and then you can just add on as you go along.
Yeah, right.
What I showed you is all I have. I have, the four bigger crystals, and I'm going to add the grays into this next, and then the basic set. And I have this one crystal. This is the Earth disc, but they have like the Dream disc, and they have maybe four or five of these. And then there are smaller crystals for different,
Oh,
things.
wow. That sounds amazing.
It is. It's amazing, actually.
So when you've experienced a treatment yourself, I mean, can you step me through, like, what actually happens?
Um, well, we practiced. It was the students. We were all practicing on each other, and then the teacher was assisting with us. But um, there are like touch points on your fingers that will tell that you could check up points that you can check with each other to see, where you maybe had some trauma occur. It doesn't have to be trauma, but like blockages. So, you know, different wherever it hurts the most is like it relates to a certain age.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can start with that and then see a blockage,
Yeah.
or somewhere that needs treatment, and then you can work on the 4-year-old,
Yeah, right.
and then there might be like a mother father treatment or something like that.
Oh my
And
god.
then so yeah, they can do the treatment, and then sometimes you can see things right away, but sometimes it'll take a little bit for it to actually like you to sit and marinate so you can actually see the progress of it, and how well it worked, I guess, or what comes up for you, because
Yeah.
everybody's so individual.
Yeah, so I guess that, if somebody was really wanting to do some deeper
Deep.
work, I'm guessing it would be a little bit like counselling. You go in sometimes with a certain issue, and then as you start to talk, something else will come up, and then something else
Exactly.
will come up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So a lot of therapists use this in conjunct with, like massage therapists or physical therapists who use it for pain.
right.
Psychotherapists will use it for those other certain things, like to tap into trauma or,
Yeah.
um,
Oh,
yeah. So, yeah.
mm, that's amazing. So you mentioned, like a respiratory condition. So even like in your own practice, if you were seeing, a client in person, you could be, um, going through your usual physical checks, giving them meds or whatever, and offer that as well.
Correct. So they have an acute cough, runny nose, stuffy nose, then I would use the certain colors with the certain meridians for that. Or if
Yeah.
they came in with back pain, we
Right.
could do just, a color for the back for the exact points, but it might tap into something that's so much deeper. And then it would take
Yeah.
off from there about where this
Yeah.
originated, because it all originates. most likely from, emotional areas.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of
Yeah.
times, not always, but a lot
Mm.
of times it will.
And you would see that as a nurse practitioner, I imagine you would build up relationships with your patients over time, and you'd start to know their history, and you'd be able to link together in the same way that a therapist, for want of a better term, like a counsellor or whatever, would do. You would have those
Sure.
links.
Yeah. A lot of the general population has depression, anxiety for whatever reasons. And I do primary care, urgent care. And yeah, I see them for high cholesterol, but we always, oh, how are you sleeping? Oh, I'm not sleeping good. I haven't slept good in 10 years. I
Mm,
sleep 4 hours and then it goes from there. So
yeah.
they're coming in for cholesterol. Some people would rather just come into a primary and not go to a therapist. There's still of that mind where people don't want to be coined, nuts or whatever you call it, right?
Woo
Right. So
woo.
they'd rather go, right. Or they'd rather go to a primary and then it can come up in there. So as a primary care person, you're always seeing some sort of, um, emotional disturbances, or it's not the right word I want to really use for it, but,
So,
issues. We all have them.
yeah, of course we do. So something like um, depression, what sort of, like, is there certain colours or things that you would use for something like that?
Well, sure, yes, and that would be something I'd have to get back to you on. But a lot of orange, blue is very calming. So if
Yeah,
their nervous system's been sort of blown out, then you use blue for calming, orange for more joyful,
yeah,
things like that. But ultimately, I think what would happen is you do treatments, and then you may be able to see where some of the depression is actually stemming from
yeah.
if you
So,
go into like different time periods or ages, or it could be even prenatal, or pre-verbal, so they can't even put their fingers on it. You know what I mean? It could have been like an unwanted pregnancy, so the
yeah,
mom was super like depressed or whatever, and then the baby has no idea into
yeah.
an adult, and then they can actually tap into that.
That this is so much deeper and broader than just
Mm-hmm.
let's wear orange to feel happier. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, amazing. Because I mean, I know myself. Certain colours will make me feel more confident, and
Sure.
some colours, my skin looks better. Things like that, and you do feel different when you wear different colours. But this is like off the charts, really.
Yeah. Well, you paint your room a certain color for the calming effect, right? Like,
Yeah, and there's scientific, there's evidence based
of course.
stuff for that. So just out of curiosity, like in that world of color puncture rather than color therapy, has there been? Are you aware of any? Because I have no clue. Is there any sort of scientific stuff they've done? Have they done any research on that?
Well, he has, Peter, I'm sure plenty of people have. Sure, there's a whole, line of color therapy, but Peter Mendel he's a naturopath, but he's also a scientist. And I know he's really well supported in the medical community there in
Yeah,
Germany, where they're a little more open, I think, to those kinds. So he has a lot of science to back up a lot of these
yeah, right.
things.
Mm. So if somebody wanted to go a little deeper with this, what would you suggest that they do if they want to sort of explore it more? Is there a book or a um,
If they wanted to become a therapist or they wanted to do their own treatments.
oh, can you do your own treatments?
No, no, that I meant find a,
A
an
therapist.
experienced therapist. Right.
Yeah, so any of that really. So how would you find somebody apart from Google?
Oh, I think you can go on a basic, color puncture website and
Yeah,
see therapists near you.
yeah, okay. All right, I'll check that out and have a look. Yeah, beautiful. And you mentioned a book. What's
Oh,
is
I
that
got this. I've been, this is
Energy
This does a lot
psychology.
of initial treatments, basic treatments, what, what the colors can be used for. And I mean, it's pretty
Yeah,
hefty,
that's sick.
hefty book, but it goes into a lot of the modality, the treatments and the diagnostic tools. And it's good.
Yeah, wow. I love it. So, I don't even know what to ask now. Like, um, I'm sort of blown away by the depth of it. That's kind of surprised me, to be honest. Yeah, because it never even occurred to me that you'd be putting some pressure on fingers to find out an age. I mean, I've never even heard of that.
I know it hits your subconscious, your conscious, your unconscious, levels in different parts of the brains. With yeah, I know it's such a big field and such a huge modality that
Oh my
I'm
God.
just a baby, starting this. So
Are you excited about it?
I'm excited,
Yeah.
really excited. I have been. I just got sort of sidetracked,
Yeah.
with COVID over
Other
the last couple of
things,
years, and then
life.
just,
Yeah.
right, working and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, what else are you going to? So, just jumping over, like you mentioned that you're opening a new clinic. So, you do a bunch of different things as well, don't you? Like, so you've got, your normal medical stuff, but you're going to offer the color puncture, Reiki. What else have you got in?
Yeah. So yeah, I would, my medical is, primary care, urgent care mostly. Um, and it just depends if I do fully online or, because then I would be doing long distance,
Mm,
energy healing, all that. But what else that I can do medical marijuana licensing in the state of Hawaii, but also, alternatively, I've been to a 3-year energy medicine school, so I can do extensive energy work. I've been certified in Reiki, so I can do long distance Reiki and on hands um, Reiki treatments.
yeah,
What else is there? Yeah, I had a whole list of things I can sort of offer.
yeah.
The color puncture. Um, yeah, so we'll see where it takes me. I, I haven't sort of zoned in on exactly how it's going to look, what it's, and there's a lot of alternative things coming up too, like weight loss amino acids, the GLP-1s, NAD injections. So I could also, you know, offer those. So I'm just in the middle of trying to figure out, where I want to set up, whether it's in a physical location, online, both.
Yeah,
But so those are some of the things,
yeah.
I would
And
like to
so,
offer.
like, obviously, I'm in Australia, so if you were doing, because I'm sure that somebody's going to go, medical marijuana, how do I get onto that? But of course, that is only within the state of Hawaii, isn't it? Because that's where you're
Correct.
licensed.
And I have to meet them in person, to actually, give the initial card, and then the renewals I can do online. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fascinating. That's a big thing, isn't it? I know here in Australia, or I think I know in Australia that, so maybe it's just a story I'm making up, but my understanding here is that it's actually quite complicated to actually get the product, and that there's very
oh, so we have a lot of shops here, and it's legal in most of the states. So
yeah.
there's medical marijuana, dispensaries all over the United States.
Wow.
Extravagant ones, but Hawaii, it's not legal. But there's a lot of people who are having like back spasm all the time for whatever, chronic conditions, and they don't want to be on opioids. They don't want to be on pain medicine. It makes them feel gross, or gives them side effects, or they just don't want to be tied to that. And going on having CBD and CBD oils and um, gummies, all the different things, to help them sleep and all that is much better of an alternative for them, so they can go into the dispensaries and actually, they're just so well educated in there. They can say, I don't want to smoke. I want to just eat gummies or chocolate or whatever. And I need it for anxiety, or I just need it for sleep, or I only need it for back pain, but I don't want to feel sleepy, while I'm at work. And, so they'll know exactly what direction, back in the day when pot, you never know what you were getting if you smoked a joint, right? It's like, you don't know if you're going to laugh all day or get paranoid or fall asleep, right? Now they have that all down, right? So you can actually know what's going to happen.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah. So someone got me onto a place in here in Australia. It's
Is it legal in Australia?
no, you can actually. Yeah, you can. It's a little tricky, I think, but there's a place called the Ubuntu, so UBUNTU Wellness Clinic, and it's in New South Wales. And you actually have we don't have nurse practitioners here, but a clinical nurse, does the session with you, and you do get a script. And so you will send, like, for example, I had a period of time where I was having a lot of stress, and I actually contacted them, and I got these purple dot cookies. That's what they call them. And I had to take. I'm not very good at handling medication. So she said to me, "Oh, just take 1/4 of a cookie," and these small cookies, and I chopped it into 4. My God, I've never slept like that. It was amazing. I just had it.
It's terrific.
Yeah,
it's terrific. I would much rather hand out licenses than give any kind of opioid or any pain medicine to someone for chronic things.
Yeah. And it was great because it got me through that period of time. And
sure. And then you're done. Yeah.
The lady who got me onto that, her dad had been ill for a long time, and she was speaking to me about this stuff. They call it bone oil. So it's actually an oil. It's got the THC in it, and she would rub it into his body to reduce the pain, and he would sleep.
Yes.
And I actually got some of that to try, a little sample, and it was, oh my gosh, gone. I think it was a bit stronger even than the cookies were. But
anytime alternative, works. I mean, I incorporate it a lot of times into my practice. Like if somebody's coming in with back pain or muscle pain, I'm like, hey, go buy peppermint oil at the health food store. It's $10 a bottle.
Yeah.
Put it right on your lower back. It penetrates. It lasts for 4 or 5 or 6 hours. It's a strong anti-inflammatory. You don't have to take ibuprofen, mess up your stomach. Wash your hands after with soap and water so you don't get it near your eyes. But it's like, that's my go-to. I go to acupuncture. I go to physical therapy. I get a massage. I use peppermint oil. I don't hardly ever use ibuprofen, Tylenol, anything like that. It's not that I'm against it, because there's a time and place for everything. It's just that there's a million different things you can do.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, you've piqued my interest, and I sort of can't wait now to get on Google and go, tell me more about. Yeah. Now, what's the name of this German fellow again? Can you tell me his name again, just so that it's stuck in my mind?
Peter Mandel. So it's Peter and then Mandel.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then it's the Mandel Institute in Germany.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Sue. All right. So maybe we'll just sort of like wrap it up here, because you've given us a beautiful little look into what colour puncture is and the fact that it is huge. And thanks for talking about the other bits and pieces that you're doing, and
sure,
really excited to see what happens for you in Hawaii and with your clinic.
Thank you.
We'll catch you maybe another time and get a bit of an update on how everything's going.
Right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.